Hello there. My name is Lou Wieland, and for the last 30 years or so, I have published the official relocation guides on Atlanta that are distributed by the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta, which houses homes for sale that realtors need to check that site. Also, commercial listings are on there more now than ever. Leases and sales for land and multifamily. FMLS has expanded into Florida, Puerto Rico, Tennessee, and Alabama. And every time you turn around, they're expanded into another area. It is the fourth largest, I think, or third largest multiple listing service in the United States. And the magazine's community profiles are on their website. They are in their stores where realtors shop for supplies. The magazines are in the real estate brokerage offices for distribution to their clients buying homes and businesses. And we send them out periodically every week or every couple of weeks, I guess, to realtors to send out to their clients. They're on my website, which you might want to check out for information about the area. Also, it's atlantacommunityprofiles.com. And I am a commercial realtor with KW Commercial. If I can help you with any of your real estate needs, please let me know. My email is lou@louwheeland.com. And every week or so, we interview community leaders, people who are contributing to the well-being of our community. And today we have a welcome back to our show, Ann Hanlon, the Executive Director of the Perimeter CID. Welcome back, Ann. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show again. You sure are in an area hotspot news-wise there and events-wise with that 400 and 285 interchange. You know, a lot of people. Ann, by the way, graduated from Notre Dame and has a master's from Georgia State, and has been executive director of the Perimeter CID since, I guess, 2017. So, which is probably the most dramatic area, traumatic or dramatic, I don't know, depending on how you look at it, area of town. And, since that time, actually, what a time to come in. But anyway, Ann, a lot of people might not even know what constitutes the perimeter. How would you define the perimeter?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Lou. I really appreciate you having me on the show. You know, you've been a friend for so long and certainly a friend to the commercial real estate industry. And I know so many people trust your judgment and your opinion on what's happening in the market. So I feel honored to be on talking to you today. So the perimeter is a very dynamic market. You know, we at the CID, we are a special purpose tax district. And we taken the area of the perimeter market, which basically is the area that kind of hugs the 285 at 400 interchange. We're anchored with Perimeter Mall, which is the largest single commercial property owner here in the perimeter area. But we've got about 100,000 people who come into work here every day. So we're sort of like a city in and of ourselves. But we are incorporated in 3 different cities. We are in Sandy Springs, in Brookhaven, and in Dunwoody. And we also hug the county line. So the Fulton DeKalb County line runs right down the middle of our district. So we've got 5 local governments that govern this area, and hundreds of companies that call this area home. A lot of ones that are household names that your listeners would recognize: Cox, UPS, Mercedes-Benz, State Farm, WestRock. That's just to name a few of the big companies that we have here in Perimeter that call this area home.
Well, what is going on with that interchange now? Every time I go down there, there's a change. Give us an update on that, please.
Sure. So the 285 at 400 interchange is getting a little bit of work done right now, as you noticed. This is a project that is being done by the State Department of Transportation. It is actually the largest project that the Georgia Department of Transportation has ever taken on. It's the biggest one in their history, and it's massive. It costs a little over $800 million. The contractor is a European contractor out of Spain for Rufiel. They have an entire consortium of contractors out there, which they've called North Perimeter Contractors, that are out on the site every day trying to do the work. But it's complicated. It's really not one project. There's sort of the body of the interchange, and it stretches out with collector distributor roads as far east as Ashford Dunwoody Road, as far west as Roswell Road, as far south as Johnson's Ferry Road, and as far north of Abernathy. So it's not just the interchange proper that's being redone. There's sort of the body of the interchange, and then all of those legs that are stretching out north, south, east, and west. And the most complicated part of the project that DOT is doing, there are over 20 bridges actually in that project. So as a driver, you may not notice, but there's a series of multiple, overpasses and underpasses, and the engineers have worked really hard to thread the needle with all of those. But the idea is that when it is complete, it's going to the newly refurbished interchange is going to eliminate a lot of the conflict points. So a lot of drivers that are coming, north, south, east, or west, when you're making your exit, you may be in conflict with someone. Like maybe you're trying to merge to the right, and somebody else is trying to merge on from the other side. And a lot of those conflict points are going to be eliminated, which is really going to make traffic flow much better through that interchange. That interchange was ranked one of the worst in the country for years. And so the organization that I work for, the Perimeter CID, and the business community here lobbied the state of Georgia for years to try to fix it. So even though we're in the throes of construction right now, and it can be painful at times, I think we're all a little fatigued at the construction at this point. But it is going to be so much better when it's finished. The DOT engineers estimate that it should shave off about 20 minutes for the average commuter who's coming through the area. Like if you're coming from Cobb County to Gwinnett or vice versa, it should shave off about 20 minutes from your daily commute when it's finished.
How do you might explain how you generate revenue for your work that you do to contribute to the area?
Yeah, so the CID, we are one of about 30 community improvement districts in Metro Atlanta. We are here in Perimeter, at the Perimeter CID, we're one of the oldest and one of the largest. But there's about 30 of us, 30 of these organizations around. And we are a special purpose tax district. That's sort of a quasi-governmental nonprofit entity. And basically, that means, Lou, that we can charge taxes. So for commercial property owners that exist within our geographic boundaries, those commercial property owners must pay an additional tax. So above and beyond the property taxes that they pay to Fulton County or to DeKalb County or Cobb County or Gwinnett or wherever your commercial property is located, in addition to that, you are paying an additional assessment on top of that, and then 100% of those funds come to our organization. They come to the CID, and those dollars can be used to help pay for big infrastructure projects. So all of our dollars are governed by a board of directors. I kind of liken it to a homeowners association. If you've ever lived in a subdivision that has a homeowners association, you know that you pay a special assessment, and that money is governed by a board of directors, and they use it to do things that benefit the whole community. Like maybe they plant flowers, or they have a gate that they maintain, or they have a security patrol. It's a similar concept, but for a business district. So we generate dollars. We help pay for us here in Perimeter. That means we have money to help all our local governments. Sandy Springs, Brookhaven, and Dunwoody help pay for transportation projects like sidewalks or roads or bridges or intersections.
So everybody benefits from the improved area. That's it's community. That's why they call it community improvement, because everybody does benefit from the improvement.
We approve it for everyone. So even if you live here, no, residential units do not pay. But if you live here, or if you live somewhere near a community improvement district, you're getting the benefit of the commercial properties paying for that, and you get the benefit of landscaping and security. And the idea is that the commercial properties, they want their own investment to go up in value, right? So the whole idea is they invest back in the community to make it cleaner and safer and easier to access with better trail system and better lighting and all of that so that the commercial properties remain valuable.
Been the benefit in terms of office space. Let's start with that category because that's a lot of people are wondering about that, the industry, because of a lot of people working from home, and how has that impacted the office space industry in the perimeter area?
Yeah, in our market, we're no different, I think, than any other big, dense, Class A commercial office market in the country. COVID has definitely changed things, and a lot of our big corporations are either back in a hybrid way or they're coming back after COVID. For us at the CID, that means we've really become a lot more intentional about the projects that we do because our focus is to make this area an attractive place for workers. We certainly have a focus on transportation because we want this to be a place that is easy for you to get in and out of if you're coming here to work or to shop or to eat or to stay in a hotel. We want this to be the easiest place in Metro Atlanta for you to get in and out of, whether you're on a car or on a MARTA train or on foot or on a bike or whatever. And it's really been a good thing. We've got really good partnerships with our local governments, so we've worked really really closely with them because we all have the same goal. We want the office market to do well. We want there to be people in the office buildings. We want people to be working. We want it to be a vibrant area. So everything that we do and everything we invest in, we're very intentional about making sure that this is contributing to an area that is safe, clean, vibrant, and exciting place where workers want to come in every day.
Well, you have the largest mall in the state of Georgia. How is it doing? And because we hear stories about malls and changing and so forth, give us an update on the Perimeter Mall?
Yeah, Perimeter Mall is the largest property owner in our district. They have always been since the DeKalb Perimeter Community Improvement District was formed in 1999. The mall has always been our biggest owner. And for all intents and purposes, that's kind of the downtown area of Perimeter. So it's one of the biggest destinations actually in Metro Atlanta, but certainly for here. Perimeter Mall is doing well. It was acquired. It was previously owned by General Growth Properties, and then was acquired by Brookfield Properties out of Chicago, right before the pandemic, actually in early 2020. And Brookfield has done a really good job investing back in the mall. We've got a few new restaurants and a few new tenants, and the mall ownership has also worked actually very closely with the city of Dunwoody and the CID to build out a trail project. Trail connectivity is very important to them. So they are really focused on doing everything they can to keep the mall vibrant, keep it clean and safe and vibrant, because I think we all know that it's a huge investment for this area and we all want it to remain successful.
MARTA stop in your district, which how is that helpful in getting people in and out of the area?
We do. We have three, actually. We have three MARTA stations in our district, with a fourth one that is just beyond our district. So the whole perimeter market is really served by four heavy rail MARTA train stations: the Dunwoody station, the Sandy Spring station, the Medical Center station, and the North Spring station. So for us in perimeter, we love the fact that we have those here. I heard someone in commercial real estate, Lou, reference that one time they referred to those as the beachfront property in Metro Atlanta, right? Because there just aren't building any more of those. There's only so many heavy rail train stations. They're probably not going to be building a lot more in the future. They're just wildly expensive, and we have four of them. So we're very fortunate, especially when workforce is a challenge. I think we all know it. It's hard to get people to come into work. Transportation is an issue. Wages are an issue. But we hear repeatedly from especially our retail, restaurant, and hospitality owners here in the market. We hear that they can get workers to come to work at the restaurants, hotels, and stores here in perimeter because people can take the train here. As opposed to maybe some other locations around, especially the suburban markets in Metro Atlanta, that are not as easily accessible by train. So it definitely gives us a leg up in terms of workforce and recruiting the workforce that we need to keep the hospitality industry strong. And the second thing I'll say with regard to our transit is we, at the Perimeter CID, we are working with MARTA to upgrade the stations. The Dunwoody MARTA station, which is the one that's adjacent to Perimeter Mall, it was built in the late '90s. It was actually built and opened right before the Olympics. So imagine that, back in like 1995. At the time, it was intended to be an end of the line suburban station with a big parking deck. I think the idea was that people from the suburbs would come down and park there and get on the train and go downtown. And I think, now, 30 years later, we know that that's not necessarily the case, that the Atlanta has evolved a lot. And that's no longer an end of the line suburban station. It's a station in an urban, thriving business district. So we think that that station should look different. We think it should evolve, that it should be renovated, that the parking deck could be a different use someday in the future. It could be a higher use than just a parking deck that sits empty most of the time. So we're working with MARTA to do a transit-oriented development study to figure out how do we evolve that thing from the old suburban station that was built in the '90s. How do we evolve it into something that's going to fit better in the context of a modern, thriving, vibrant office market of today?
Don't a lot of people use that to get to the airport?
They do. Oh yeah, they do.
I can see the
They
value
do.
because
State Farm, if you've seen the State Farm regional headquarters that's adjacent to there, they built onto the platform. So a lot of State Farm employees use that station, especially.
a lot of time in getting out of the in and out of the airport and park and fly and all that down there.
Oh
It
yeah.
can be very time consuming just parking your car, getting on the shuttle and going over and getting through that. It can be, I can see it would save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So what is there some talk about an overpass going up 400 from there? Is there any truth in that, or is that just rumor?
I think you're talking about the new express lanes up and down 400, and that's more than a rumor. That's moving forward. It's and I mean I can tell you a little bit about it. That is also a GDOT project. We're very blessed in the perimeter area here in sort of this area of Sandy Springs and Dunwoody and Brookhaven, and even as you head north into the other cities of North Fulton County, we're very fortunate that a lot of the big mega projects that the State Department of Transportation is currently doing, or planning to do in the next 10 years are going to be in North Fulton. They're going to be in North Fulton and North DeKalb. That means we're going to be facing a lot of construction over the next 10 years. But the good news is that means that it's going to be it's going to be even easier to get up and down the 400 corridor and across the top end of 285. So the Department of Transportation's current plan is to build elevated toll lanes or express lanes. Some people refer to them as Peach Pass lane. If you have a Peach Pass, you can go in and out. The plan is for the Department of Transportation to build a northbound lane headed up basically like from the 285 interchange all the way up to Forsyth County, and also like a northbound lane and a southbound lane. So if you have listeners who may live like in Alpharetta or Roswell, there should be a day someday soon when they can use their Peach Pass, get in a toll lane, and get out of the regular traffic and come down the perimeter much more quickly.
That'd be nice, really nice. Especially, the traffic going up there is just insane. I mean, even up to Dahlonega. Yeah, I mean, in rush hour, even in Dahlonega, is crazy. I can't.
It's so interesting in your line of work. I'm sure you follow this, but the growth projections for Metro Atlanta are staggering. That the growth is going to keep coming and coming, especially in this sort of the northern quadrant where North Fulton and North DeKalb, and then headquarters headed on into Forsyth and on up the 400 corridor. I will credit the Department of Transportation. They're doing a pretty good job planning for all of it because they see the growth that is coming, and the infrastructure that's there on Georgia 400 now, it's just not enough. We're going to need that thoroughfare to be bigger and function more efficiently for all the growth that we've got coming in the future.
So the businesses in the area contribute voluntarily to the perimeter CID, and the idea that because it's a more vibrant area, more businesses will come there and will open their businesses there, will stay there, and will benefit. So let me ask you to give a elevator pitch for, guess what, the perimeter CID. How would you give it if somebody said, why should I move my business to the perimeter CID, or I'm thinking of moving to farther out, or what is the elevator pitch for that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because obviously I love this area. I've been working here since 2017. I personally myself live about 2 miles from here. I'm raising my own family here. My children are in public school in the area. We go to church in the area. So I'm personally invested in this area as much as I am professionally invested in this area. I really think the perimeter market has always been successful and will always continue to be successful for a number of reasons. Number one, it is clean and safe. We work really closely with our law enforcement partners in all 3 of the cities, and that is one thing I'm hearing more and more that employers want, companies want it. People want to come into an area where they feel safe. So we absolutely check that box. We always have. Number 2, easy access in and out of this district. I mentioned we've got 3 heavy rail MARTA stations that serve the area. We have 11 shuttle buses that run around the area daily that pick up at the MARTA stations and drop off at all the big corporate headquarters. And when the interchange is completed, within the next probably 10 months, when the 285 and 400 interchange is complete, it is going to really, really shave time off of a person's commute to come in and out of this area. And then the third thing is, restaurant options, entertainment options. There's a lot for people to do here. We've got over 100,000 people who come here every day to work. We've got more Class A office space concentrated here in this market than anywhere else in the southeastern U.S. So with 100,000 people coming in here every day, you've got to have things for people to do. So we have a plethora of shopping options and dining options and hotel options. So there's just a lot here, and it's super convenient. And I think it's a great place to be. I really think it's kind of this center of gravity for all of North Metro Atlanta.
What about we just have one more minute, but what about the hotel industry? What is the status of the hotel industry in the perimeter CID area?
Yeah, funny enough, during COVID, we all know that COVID affected business travel in particular. During COVID, we actually had 3 new hotels that opened in the perimeter market, and they're all doing quite well. Again, I know I keep talking about MARTA, but I think for us, the fact that we've got hotels that are located within walking distance of those heavy rail MARTA stations, it bodes well for business travel for us, especially because people can fly into the airport, get on a MARTA train, take the train directly to perimeter, and get off, at Medical Center, Sandy Springs Station, or Dunwoody, and then safely be able to walk to your hotel. But we're keeping an eye on the hotel market. We work closely with the Georgia Hotel and Lodging Association, to kind of keep an eye on how the market is doing compared to other markets and preparing for big events. World Cup is coming in a couple years to Atlanta, so that's something we're going to be working on to make sure that a lot of those visitors stay here in perimeter. But overall, our hotels do very well.
If you fly into Atlanta, you can get onto MARTA, take MARTA on right on to the perimeter and walk to your hotel. And then from your hotel you can walk to tons of restaurants or use the walking trail at night.
That's right. Safe. You've got we've got sidewalks from all the stations. They are lit. You can go go to Nordstrom. You could go to the mall. We've got a new brewery, Iron Hill Brewery, that just opened in the market. A brand new AC hotel with a rooftop bar that people are crazy about. Evidently, it's got a great view. So yeah, it's if you're traveling into Atlanta and you're a business traveler, as we have a lot of business travel with our big corporations, it's a really good place to stay. It is certainly convenient. You never have to rent a car.
So if people would like more information about the area, what would you suggest? Take out, how would they
Yeah,
obtain that?
yeah, please check out our website, which is perimetercid.org, and reach out to any of us at any time. We also have a branch of our organization. We have a program called Perimeter Connects. They do a lot of like one-on-one work with our people who've relocated here or businesses in the area, people who are looking at the area. So yeah, look us up. Look us up and give us a call if anybody has any questions. We'd be happy to help you out.
Thank you very much, Yang. Nice to see you again, and glad that your district is so prosperous and successful, and for all your contributions to the well-being of the metro area in general. Thank you very much for being on the show as well, again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.